Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ and as part of the Halloween spooky season, we are diving into a brand new horror movie. Yes, coming to Shudder is VHS 99 and we are diving into all of it. So VHS 99 is the next entry in the long-running VHS series. I remember when that first installment came out years ago and I was hooked, and then VHS 2 came out and I believe that one has Safe Haven, which is one of my favorite short films I've ever seen. So yeah, I like this franchise. I think these VHS movies have always been a good, consistent, kind of go-to for horror fans throughout the years. Now with VHS 99, I do think it's another solid entry, though I feel it's a bit weaker than some of the other ones. I don't know why that none of these really impacted me as much as some of the other segments from other ones. Maybe not VHS like Viral, which I do not like, but looking at the most recent one from last year, 94, and then looking at like VHS 2, VHS 1, I just thought this one lacked a bit of the oomph. I did love one of the segments very much. We'll talk about all of the segments in little details. I'm gonna get into like light spoilers. I won't spoil the end of any of the segments, but I will get into kind of detailed feelings on each one. But yeah, overall, I had a decent time with this. I thought it was fun. I had some good gags. It just felt a bit, this is going to sound shady, a bit cheaper than some of the other ones. Some of the effects looked like they were like kind of like Party City, Halloween store kind of vibes. So I was a bit distracted there. I did like the majority of the segments, even if they weren't my favorite. I liked where they were going. There's some very good ideas, and the pop culture references were on point. I believe it's the one where the boys are spying on the girl across the street, and they were like, oh, on my crush list, it's Sarah Michelle Gellar and Britney Spears, and I was just like, little things like that. Like one of them, and I think in that same segment, they're playing Resident Evil 2, and then the first one, it's very like late 90s, like, oh god, all of our parents are rich, so now we're like grungy skater boys, CKY tapes. I liked a lot of the references and a lot of the viewpoint that this one had. I'm a 99 2000s baby, so I definitely really appreciate this. Felt like a good homage to that time period. So even though if I don't love every segment, I love the idea of this, and it's VHS. Whatever one they're coming out with next year, I'm gonna watch that too, because I just like what they present. And the beauty of it is, if you don't like one of the segments, it's gonna end in about 5 minutes and then you'll just start a new one. So VHS is really fun, and I always highly recommend this to each one of the fans. Now we're gonna get into each one of the segments. I'm not gonna get into spoilers, but I will really dive into my feelings, so let's get into that right now. The first one we have is Shredding, which was a very CKY, very early Jackass tapes. There's this like group of skater kids who are very punk, and they're trying to kind of vibe and just chill, and they decide to go to like a place, I think it's called like an underground, it's a venue that burned down and a band was playing there, so they're trying to go there and they're gonna mess with this band and maybe walk into some forces that they're not ready for. Yo, these kids were highly annoying. I really wanted to like this segment more. Just the kids were hard to get through. It just wasn't the oomph that I wanted from these kids. I wasn't invested. I wasn't caring about their journey. So that was a bit distracting there. But once they got down there and the bloodshed started happening and we started seeing the band that they're talking about from the past that got killed in the fire and then trampled on, we're seeing them return, because it's pretty obvious that's what's going to happen with here. And I like their return. I like their moments. It was the effects were probably one of the better ones here. I think the Flying Lotus one has the best VFX of all of this, but I actually like the look of the monsters in the end when they're all playing in the band. I liked the idea of this. I liked the fun, again, like the CKY. This era of people is someone I distinctly remember and I appreciate for, so I like this callback to that era. Even though this wasn't one of my favorites from VHS 99, I do appreciate the aesthetic, the vibe of this one. Probably the most fun aesthetic out of all of them. And then there's another one that I really like. Now we have Suicide Bid. A young girl is trying to get into a sorority, but she does the very suicidal, crazy thing in the frat world, the Greek life world, of only putting down one sorority she wants to join. So the girls decide to haze her in a very brutal way. They bury her alive, and they tell a whole story about a monster woman who was buried alive, and then, you know, our spirit wants to join the sororities, blah, blah, blah. This was my least favorite. I liked the idea of the joining of the sorority, The buried alive stuff was very uncomfortable. The scenes, the filmmaking, there was that one scene where like the spiders were all over her. I liked the moments there. Buried alive stuff will always get me. And then the story progressed and we started seeing monsters, and the VFX are so poor on this one. It didn't allow me to get scared. It literally looked like a scary, like, ooh, Halloween store, like mask, makeup, one of those like big 6-foot things you put outside of your house. That's what the monster in this looked like, and I was very disconnected. This is from Johannes Roberts, I believe his name is. He did the newest Resident Evil film, which it looks like he just has a taste for cheap VFX. That just might be his visual style. I don't know, but I was not invested in this one. And then we got to the end, I was just like, cool, I'm glad this one's over. Yay, let's move on to what I think is the best of the bunch. I can spend 8 years talking about Flying Lotus's Ozzy's Dungeon. Whoa, this one had layers. I loved the beginning where it was just like a parody of Legends of the Hidden Temple, and then seeing the host be just so mean to the contestants, and then the one girl gets injured, and that sends her family down a spiral. I mean, the injury is gross. It ruins her life, basically. So the parents of the girl decide to kidnap the host and torture him and put him in their own little Legends of the Hidden Temple. It's gross. This one is hard to watch. It does take a left turn at the end where we actually find out who Ozzy is, and the whole point of the game show was if you beat it and you get to do a wish, go to Ozzy's dungeon and make a wish and you'll get whatever you want. Well, they go down there, they start seeing what it is, and wishes are made, and oh my goodness, the end of this, like, I liked a lot of the torture porn, the Saw nature of this, and I kind of wish it would have stayed there. I honestly just wish this family just would have beat the hell out of the host dude. I think he is the dude who plays Trevor from GTA 5. Love the actor. Everyone was good. This was probably the best acting. Like, the mother character, she was eating. She was everything. She knew exactly what the tone and the vibe of this needed to be, and she captured it. Do I love this one 1,000%? When we get to the end and it gets a bit supernatural and weird, you lose me a bit. I like when these stayed more organic and less supernatural and was more about real horror, but it seemed like every one of them started out very real, very graphic, very grounded, and then just took a wild turn through a different direction. I appreciate that they're trying to do that, but it kind of took away from this one. This could have been a perfect score out of the VHS segments, but it just becomes like an 8 out of 10 for me because of the weird ending. 2 more segments, and we have the Gawkers next. I liked this one. It was about a group of boys who wanted to hack into a computer for a hot girl next door and watch her webcam. They're going to be very exploitative. It has a slow build. You start seeing things like they found like snake skin early on in the segment. I'm like, oh, like a snake person probably. Yeah, it's big orange snake stuff. Cool. And then it progresses, and this one does get supernatural as well, but I kind of felt that coming, so it wasn't as jarring as something like Ozzy's Dungeon. So yeah, I liked the Gawkers. I thought this was good. The teens in this one, out of all of the young cast of anyone included here, these were the best kids. Like, they felt real. Their dialogue was really accurate. When things started going down, I felt for them. There was the one, like, younger brother who was the one they sent over to there, and I don't know, I like the interpersonal drama of this one. I thought this one was better acted than most of them, from the young cast, and I thought overall I liked the story. It kind of has a Medusa edge to it, which I really like. I really like where this one went. It wasn't one of my favorites out of all of VHS, but out of VHS 99, this one would probably rank like number 2, actually number 3, because the end segment is probably just, it's too crazy to not appreciate. Last up, we have To Hell and Back, which is one of my favorites. We did kind of have a wraparound story, which was Little Army Men. I believe that it was attached to the Gawker one. I liked it. I can watch stop motion Army Men and all that stuff. Love the idea. But going from To Hell and Back was, this was a journey. I did not expect it, but it felt bigger in scale and scope. They really tried something with this one. This is a perfect final segment for a VHS film. It's big, bold, has big ideas. It really tried to do something different. I love the effects for this one. I thought it looked really fun. It looked kind of like cheap and fun, like fake at times, but it just kind of made it more of an enjoyable romp. These 2 guys go to hell. It's just in the segment, and they have to get their way out of it, and it is not easy. They also run into a girl who's been in hell for a while, it seems, named Mabel. Mabel is my girl. I have thought about Mabel since I saw it last night and woke up today. She was everything. This actress was so good. The way she spoke, the dialogue. I really like this one. I love the effects. Like, they're going through hell and seeing different monsters. I love when you would see the flashes of lightning in the sky so you could see how big this environment was with the devil figure in the sky. This one was really good. Also, a really fun twist ending. Did not expect it to go the route it did. It was brutal. It was weird. It was fun. This is, I would rank it Ozzy's Dungeon and then To Hell and Back as the top two of this one. They just offered the most. They felt the most complete, the most well-rounded, and they did not let me down at the end. I love To Hell and Back. It is truly one of those VHS segments that you will not forget after you see it. Alright, Flickering Myth family, that is it for my review of VHS 99. I had a great time with this. This is coming to Shudder very, very soon, so keep an eye out for that. If you're not watching things on Shudder, what are you doing? They have Dracula, VHS movies, like Psycho Gorman. There is so much on this. I'm not getting paid by them, but yo, for real, y'all would pay me because I would shill for y'all all the time. Shudder is where you need to be. If you're tired of Netflix or HBO Max not having the horror movies you want this season, check out Shudder because they have things like VHS 99 and it is well worth the watch. What did you guys think of this review? What do you guys think of the VHS franchise? Share your feelings down in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy, and make sure you subscribe to Flickering Myth because we make videos like this every single week. Alright everyone, let's talk about VHS 99 right down there.